First off, guys, commentary like this is kind of hard when I don't have a controller in my hand, controlling Zelda, making her run throughout the city. And so, when I do commentary like this, just looking at footage into the mic, I talk, I have some mental disorders and some reading disabilities, some learning disabilities. So I talk slow so I get my words and my thoughts out fluidly, clearly, in a way where it's easily digestible. So my commentary is slow paced. That being said, you're not going to hurt my feelings if you go down to the setting and speed it up to like 1.75 or something. That's not going to hurt my feelings. On to the raid itself. Because I've decided that this is my favorite raid in all of Final Fantasy. The setup is kind of dumb, where you're out exploring and you stumble upon like a city park, and the city park is like a no trespassing zone, and so the gods come out, they're like, hey, no trespassing. Now you're gonna have to fight us because you're trespassed on our sacred ground. Not the most complex plot, but it gets you into the raid, so it does its job. You go into the raid, and I feel like it's the coolest thing. They did like an Olympus theme, almost like Hercules and his trials, just with the Final Fantasy gods instead of the Greek gods. But you could totally see the Greek inspiration. One of the things I liked about this raid is how difficult it felt. It never got to the point where it was frustrating. It wasn't like a day one Destiny raid where you want to throw your controller out the window because everything is buffed to the moon. But it is something where you cannot sleepwalk through this raid. I remember Paradigm's Breach, and the hardest part about Paradigm's Breach was looking at the thing. My eyes would bleed on. You have like that Google white. Imagine waking up 2 o'clock in the morning, opening up Google to YouTube a fireworks display. That was Paradigm's Breach in a nutshell. Mechanically, you could sleepwalk through that raid, I feel like. Just watch the trains at the end. You cannot sleepwalk through this raid. You gotta stand on your toes. You gotta look out the floor, the boss. There's a lot going on, and I actually really like that. Because that level of difficulty makes it feel like a raid, makes it feel like an end game content, instead of a dungeon with more characters. The first boss is actually really cool. It's like, his name is Birgot the Builder, but I could already see the memes of him calling him Bob. I could already see the community calling him Bob the Builder. And his platform is like a Tetris thing where he will move it, and if you're not watching where you are, you're gonna be falling to your death. The second fight is a great callback to Stormblood trailer, because you're fighting Rhalgr on a big statue hand. And again, you cannot sleepwalk through that raid. You can't. And I like how they use the hand as a mechanic, because Rhalgr will knock you back, and you gotta make sure one of the fingers is behind you, or else you're sitting out most of the fight. And I'll be honest, I think I spent most of that fight dead. I'll be even more honest and tell you I spent most of the raid dead. The third boss is like a phoenix girl. And when looking back at it, I don't think she was as interesting as Birgot or Rhalgr. She had a lot of big AoEs with fires that would move around the map. And I remember I was doing decently good until I just waltzed into a fire pit. So that was on me. The end of the raid is my favorite part. So you beat the Fire Queen, Fire Goddess, whatever her name is. I can't even remember it right now. And setting up the last boss, there's a big hallway bridge street thing. And you could see an entire city. And it's one of the coolest sights I've seen in Endwalker. Might be the coolest sight in Endwalker so far. The boss itself is actually really cool because it's like a life and death theme. And the whole thing has a mechanics of balance. And I remember, I remember thinking, I'm like, this is the easiest fight in this raid so far. That is until you get to the end. His wipe mechanic. He turns the entire arena one side black and one side white. And you gotta balance out your team. So that way the scale's even. Now, to be fair, once you figure it out, Alliance A goes on the left, Alliance C goes on the right, and then you just split up Alliance B. Once you figure it out, it's not hard. But I do think that's a really cool mechanic. And honestly, this raid was a lot of fun. Just the fact that I've been thinking about it all day. Well, not all day, but I've been thinking about it a lot. Because, I'll be honest with you, the Heaven's Ward raid, I don't remember a lot of them. World of Darkness, but that's just because that's the one that always pops up in the Duty Finder. I did like the Stormblood raids, actually. The whole Lara Croft Tomb Raider things. Those were cool. And then the Nier raids, because, you know, 2B leggings. But, you know that's why you like that raid. So the fights in giant machines were really cool. I hated the two little munchkins. Two little, Lalafels. This is a really good raid, though. One of my favorites. My favorite raid. I cannot wait to keep doing it. And I feel like the armor set is really cool. Just from what I saw today. I picked up the arms. And just from the pieces of the armor set, everything looked cool. And I can't wait to see the armor set when it's all said and done. Tell me what you thought about the raid. And, artifact out, I guess.